In this video, we're going to go through the structural levels of Bitcoin, Total, and Ethereum, as well as Solana, to determine where the crypto market could be likely to head to next. Please let me know in the comments, what other structural levels would you like to see across all of these 32 different charts? Please let me know in the comments. Those structural levels are from the service at CTKSmethod.org. Please remember, pump your TradingView plan up with up to 70% off. Fantastic. I'm going to do so myself. On CTKSmethod.org, you can just go to the inventor and scroll down. There are a lot of really helpful crypto links here, including the crypto top indicator. Are we at the top? Very, very, very unlikely. We've got a lot of room to spread out from here. But that doesn't mean we're not going to get retracements. Let's look into those charts and let's run the numbers. With news in today, Michael Saylor bought $5.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. And how did Bitcoin respond? Not well. For most people, when they're fresh to financial markets, especially the crypto market, they buy when the price is going up and expect it to just go up forever. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Now, what causes price to go down? It is structural resistance. And what causes the price to go up? It's structural support. So, how do we see these things? How do we get X-ray vision into the chart that we're looking at? We mark it up with level 1 and level 2 standard certification. I'll just give you a bit of space and I'll put some price labels in here. That's better. Okay, now what did we see with Bitcoin's price? Bitcoin's price came up to that 98,546 structural resistance level. Tried to get above it but couldn't confirm it as support. It kept on failing and failing and failing. Definite fail, tried very hard and just couldn't make it. We can see that it's below the 96,036. This creates negative structural attraction to the 92,710 mark. You can see just how effective it is having a knowledge of structural support and structural resistance levels. With structural support, that's where we expect price to react with the specific chart that we're looking at. If price comes down, we anticipate it comes down to structural support levels. So the confluence right now is on that 92,710 level. What happens with financial news inside markets, it typically says for people to either buy or to sell. And of course, buying $5.5 billion worth of Bitcoin is a pretty good reason to buy. Unfortunately, what we saw is this 98,546 structural resistance level was simply too strong. We do have negative price momentum inside the market at the current time. Therefore, it's very important to know where the structural support levels are, because as we've seen previously, that's where price comes down and interacts. It's a very, very important thing to keep your eye on. So the bears will seek to push price down to 92,710 and hopefully below 90,618. But just bear in mind, they may do so and the buyers come in, and there are a lot of buyers for Bitcoin at the current time. And we may see a rechallenging of this 96,036 level. So how do you gain certainty by looking at structural levels? Well, you simply see how it interacts with that specific price. That's why I put the price there for you, so you can just put it in your own charts. So what you see here is this 98,546 level. And of course, we pay attention to the news, but we know the news is not the final arbiter of price. Price is. The key is to always look for a bargain and to know where the structural resistance levels are and structural support levels are. As you get more and more safety nets inside your price chart, it means that price has a lower and lower probability of breaking down below them. So too, it goes with the upside. We saw a lot of structural resistance around that 98,546 mark. We did a valiant effort trying to get through it, but it just didn't work. We had a structural failure, another structural failure, another structural failure, another one, and we're currently under this negative price momentum. Often, it's really confusing to look at price and to say, why did it explode up and then why did it explode down and explode up? It's because of structure. It's always because of structure. And when we look at Ethereum's overhead structural level at 35.24, ETH came up in the last 24 hours, challenged that, and then backed off. It looks like ETH has a degree of upward positive momentum, so please bear this in mind. ETH has been lagging very, very substantially. The structural levels to keep your eye on. You can see a large confluence of structural support, and that's exactly what's keeping ETH up at the current time, around that 33.96. Ethereum is currently 34.65 at the time of this recording. With Ethereum, the bulls will seek to push ETH over this 35.24 and beyond mark. The bears, and especially if Bitcoin continues to come down, will have a great degree of trouble around this 33.96 level. That's quite a lot of structural support there. But if they manage to push it down, there's a lot of structural support inside the market structure of ETH. Total crypto market cap has a large bearing on where Bitcoin goes, and we can see that total crypto market cap, just like Bitcoin, has been coming down just recently. Therefore, where are the structural levels? Just above 3.3 trillion. Well, around that 3.3 trillion, we had a structural resistance level that was unfortunately too strong across the entire crypto market. And when we had this negative CTKS gap, because we failed here, we open up negative structural attraction to the $3.18 trillion mark. This is why knowing where these CTKS gaps are and if they're either negative or positive is a very important thing. So what does it mean for us? We need to keep an eye on this $3.18 trillion mark, because if the bulls step in, they could rally it back to 3.3 trillion. If we get weakness, we've got also structural support at that 3.14. Total crypto market cap is currently $3.21 trillion. If you're new into the crypto market, a very warm welcome. And one thing that you should always do is to seek to understand where the structural levels are. Otherwise, you'll just look at a price chart, or maybe you even won't look at a price chart. You'll just look at price and say, ooh, Solana is 239. It's coming down, so therefore it must be going down forever. Just in the same way as you could say, well, Solana is going up and I'm going to FOMO in, or else I'm going to miss out. Price is always moving in a wave, so we just need to know where the structural levels are on the charts that we're putting money into, and also the charts that impact our charts. Let's have a look at this. Now, I'll just go over a little bit so you can see those structural levels on Solana. So what do we see at that 263 level? There was a lot of overhead structure. We hit it again, we hit it 3 times. And then it started to weaken and weaken. Also, we can note that that 244 structural support level, even though it held, and it didn't held terribly well because price didn't even make it back to touch the structural overhead resistance at 258. We're seeing a lot of negative momentum inside the crypto market currently. That means that it would be advisable to stack your probabilities towards the downside. So when we look at the downside probabilities, where do we expect Solana's price chart to potentially turn around? We've got a 233 level and a 218 level here at the current time. So just keep in mind that the bears will seek to push it below 233 and challenge the 218. The bulls will seek to push it up to the 244 and challenge the 258. Solana is currently $239. Price is always moving in a wave, so when you see red and green, this is kind of just normal. This is normal, and this is what the crypto market does. But the overwhelming weight of probability is currently to the upside. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.